Oh well, something completely new. Today, every Saturday going from here is going to be Q&A Saturdays on Remus Kane's channel. Except I'm not going to be that dickhead. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be, yeah, nice. Going to be as me, plain old Joshua Snow. So this may go entirely well. This may go horribly wrong. Stick with me, please, and be forgiving. I've never done anything like this before. The deal is, every week, I will be going through all of the questions, or the majority of them. I've got to save some for future videos, of the questions sent to me by my audience. Doesn't matter what the question is, it can be absolutely whatever you want it to be. It can be about me, it can be about my character, my plans, stuff that I've done in the past. No question, barring a few, are too personal in this. This is where I'm quite happy to show you my all. So yeah, let's get started with the first question. So this is from Connor Calder. What are your wrestling influences? That's a good one. Okay, so I draw upon a lot of different wrestlers when it comes to my character that I've created, but also for how I think about things as well. Jon Moxley, he is one of my greatest inspirations. People like Jon Moxley, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Tommaso Ciampa, he's a big one as well. And in a way, the Dark Order, you can probably tell from Society, there are similarities between the Dark Order and the Society, but glaring differences as well. Yes, Jon Moxley is probably one of the biggest influences just because of how tough he is as a person. Just that never say die attitude. He is a good guy, however. Remus Kane is not. And I can be influenced by a lot of wrestlers. I think there's massive talent out there, a lot better than I am, and as much as I'll be influenced by others, I still want to be able to create something that is absolutely unique, and I hope that I have done that with this character I've created. Otherwise it's back to the drawing board and I'll have to start all over again. So he has another question. What would you say is the best way to prepare for wrestling training / school? When I first started at Steel City and UKW, I didn't go in with any expectations other than giving my all. I knew that there were going to be things that I couldn't do. I can't do a handstand to save my life. I've barely learnt how to do a cartwheel, so you don't see me do those a lot inside the ring. I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm bad at, and it's always good to work on both, but to recognise your strengths, but to improve on your weaknesses, or to just make sure they don't get used in the first place. As for training itself, warm up, throw yourself into it. It's no good. If you're going for training, you've got to go with the mindset that you're going to learn something. You've got to go in and expect to learn something new, not in the course of one day, but over the course of many. I wouldn't have got to this small amount of talent that I have without any training whatsoever. I think it's unrealistic to expect anyone to be like that off the bat, to just instantly have all the talent that they need. Some people are more talented and some people are more adjusted to it than most, but everyone has in it themselves to become whatever they want to be inside the ring, to learn whatever they want inside the ring, and it's just a matter of just keep pushing yourself. And you know, wrestling school is great for that because you'll be surrounded by people like Nick Scott and loads of other people that I know who will always support you 100%. There are very few people that I've encountered that are negative, and they understand if you get things wrong. And those are the kind of people that you need to be surrounded by inside a training environment, because everyone knows that, hey, even some of the best ones there, they still get some of the things wrong. And they're happy to show that. And that humanizes it on such a personal level for me, because that's what's helped me to want to train even more and to put my all into it. So yeah, put your all into it. Do not expect to get into proper training schools for free. They'll at least want to expect something in return. But other than that, turn up, put your effort into it, and know what you want to do. That's all I have to say on that. And be prepared to learn something new. Be prepared to go out of your comfort zone as well, because I know I've been out of it many times. But yes, next question. This is from Casey Jack Bradley. He has his own channel, and I will post that down below. Which wrestler has the best or unique gimmick, and who has the worst? You didn't relate that to SWF in its own or to any specific one, so I'm going to go off of ones that I do genuinely believe are the worst. The best, for me, is people like Jon Moxley and Tommaso Ciampa, you know. Just the stuff that they do inside the ring, and just that determination and that perseverance and that pure mind-addled stubbornness that they bring, not only have influenced me, I think it's done wonders for the gimmick. And a recent gimmick that's come out that's not too dissimilar to Belial that I sometimes do. Seth Rollins, his most recent gimmick. I've always loved the Architect. I've always loved him as being part of the Shield before it was torn apart. Rest in peace. But his new gimmick, crazy cult leader, the Monday Night Messiah, I think it's to me, it's gold. It's a completely different direction. It's not something I ever expected, and he just captivates you inside the ring because he doesn't think like a wrestler does inside the ring. That's how he's coming across. And it's just things like that. It's things that capture your eye more than others, because you can have great gimmicks. I mean, I think a lot of gimmicks out there are awesome in their own ways. Like, I can go back to SWF if you wanted. People like Psychosis and his lunatic gimmick. Robert DeCaro with his recent heel turn, going from Man of Destiny to Satan's Chosen. There's a lot of people in SWF who have really cool gimmicks. I can't say that there's a single gimmick in there that I don't like. Honestly, I don't. If I had to say my favourite, it'd be the first three I mentioned: Tommaso Ciampa, Jon Moxley, and the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. Oh god, I got a lot from Scott Slim. Right, so first one. When are we getting Remus plays? Yes, right. Okay. This is something that not everyone will know about. Me and Scott have been talking a lot, and he came up with a suggestion of doing a Let's Play series of any sorts of games, and we were looking at Resident Evil in particular, going from start to finish and doing all of them in character as Remus Kane playing Resident Evil. Oh dear. Seeing as a lot of my own personal opinions towards the franchise will be coming into this, there's going to be quite a lot of raging, I can tell you that much. But I'm all up for trying new things. I have never done a Let's Play in my life. I love the Resident Evil franchise though, barring 6. And it's just something, you know, it's new content. And I live for you guys. I love you all. I love you all. I wish I could hug, but social distancing. Right, next question. Who has helped you the most in wrestling. Okay, so I'm being quite real here. When I first went into wrestling, Kieran Hayes, he was the person who first got me into wrestling. You know, he was the one who brought me in. You know, he showed me the ropes to start with in SWF. He started to convince me more and more to put a lot more effort into wrestling, and you know, I can't thank him enough for that in this, and I wish I could say more, because it was a pivotal moment in my career, in that if it wasn't for him, it would never have started. A lot of people in SWF have helped, you know. Danny Askham, his brother Ben, Scott Slim, Nick Harvey, them in particular, as well as Richard Knights, my best friend. You know, I can't say that there isn't a single person in SWF who hasn't helped me in one way or another. Outside of SWF, Steel City, you know, it's ran by such an awesome individual. I love him to pieces. He's a bit of a goofball. Nick and Scott know what I'm talking about. But honestly, he is one of the best people that you could ever ask to train with. I fully support people going to Steel City. I'll even post a link down to the website below, because I genuinely believe that him and his family, Adam Kilby, that's his name, him and his family, Vicky, they are absolutely great. They taught me a lot of what I know inside the ring, which Nick will remember. Firth Park, when I came back from training session, this was only after a few sessions. He wanted to see what I could do. I surprised him when I started breaking out of his holds and started applying holds on him. Honestly, brilliant people. UKW, a lot of the guys there. Dom was great. He's been absolutely fantastic. He is like, he goes with the moniker of the Godfather of the Academy division. He's just an awesome guy. He never looks down on anyone, and he always supports you no matter what, even if you are starting to get frustrated at certain things. And I do get quite frustrated quite easily, but he's helped me keep my cool a lot of the times, and he's always been there to talk. And I wish I could remember a lot of the names of the other people, but I'm just going to say collectively, UKW has just been awesome, and they've been very welcoming to me on the whole. Next question. This is from Nick and Scott. So Scott wants to know who I would want to wrestle, and Nick asked me for a top 10. Right. Well, I've been on about him a lot. At the very top, just because of the amount of respect that I have for him, Jon Moxley. You know, it would be my dream one day to enter into the ring. I don't even care if I win or lose. That's the thing. I would love to enter into the ring with Jon Moxley and go all the rounds with him and just create something fantastic. Ryan Hendricks, the Flying Vegan. I've seen his work. I've seen him against Tyler Bates, Jack Gallagher. I can't get enough of it. Him and his stupid fucking cucumber. And you know what? I would love to be inside the ring with him as well. So that's number one. Number two. Number three, I'll look at SWF. We've been on about it for ages between the two of us. Well, this could be 3 and 4. Nick and Scott. So Nick, Robert DeCaro, and Scott, James Westney. Currently, I am feuding with Scott. He after what Remus has done to James Westney. Sorry about the leg. And Nick, he's part of the society right now as Robert DeCaro, Satan's Chosen. And those two have been absolutely massive in helping me and supporting me throughout this entire process. So it would just be an honour to face them. You'll have seen it from a video recently as well, coming in at 5. Dom, the wild card, Tommy Dillon, godfather of the Academy division at UKW. You know, when I see a lot of people that I respect, I want to face them. I want to be able to reciprocate that respect that I have for them inside the ring into an awesome match. And I think that, honestly, I'll put my absolute 100%, 110 and tear it up. Just create something awesome for the audience, because at the end of the day, it's the audience who are gonna take something from it. And if they love it, they love it. And that's what I want my matches to be like. Number 6. Number 6. Now, there's a lot of people that I want to face. I could just give off like a list of my top 100. My top 100, but I've got to keep it down to 10. So who are the 10 that I really, really want to face? I'm going to look at AEW for a second. He's a brilliant guy from England. Pac. He is... Every time I see him in the ring, I have never been failed to impress with what I see. It's just... He truly lives up to the name of the man that gravity forgot. You know? And just his psychopathic gimmick that he's got, it's just... all that combined together is just absolutely brilliant. You might want to think differently about giving your stable name Death Triangle, though. No. Number 6, though. Number 6. No, sorry. He was number 6. God, I'm losing count. 7. 7. We've not properly faced in the ring yet, but we've been teasing at it for such a long time. Danny Askham, otherwise known as Crimson. Remus Kane has been an absolute headache for him ever since he's got into the ring, and I just think it's a matter of time before these two are facing, which is the case, because the next match I'm going to be having when I come back is going to be a fatal 4-way with Drac, Nightwing, brilliant worker. I can't praise him enough. I remember the match that we had at Cantley, we absolutely tore it up. And Casey, again, as Daniel Banner. I remember the triple threat that we had at Redemption at the UMix Centre. That was arguably one of the best matches that I have ever had. So with us 4 in the ring at the same time, it's just gonna blow the minds off of people, and I can't wait for it to happen. You know, we're gonna put on such a show for everyone, and I can't wait. And I hope they can't wait either. So, number 8. Let's move to UKW. J-Ro. I have to say J-Ro. I've seen him in the ring. Everyone's talking about him being absolutely great, and I agree. You know, I just think he's awesome. I can't say anything else more than that. He is just awesome, and I'd love to face him inside the ring. I'd love to put on a great story and match with him. It would just mean a lot for me, and I hope that I would impress him as well. Number 9, Leon Blade. For those of you who don't know, he's a lot younger than I am, a lot taller than I am, but my God, it's like seeing Ricochet and Will Ospreay inside the ring. Just the amount of athleticism that he has is just off the wall. I've seen it on shows, I've seen it on networks, I've never seen it in person up until I saw him, and my God, I can't even begin to describe what that feeling's like, of just watching him just catapult himself around like as if he's nothing more than a feather inside the ring. It is just ridiculously fun to watch, and I don't know if I'd be able to keep up, but I'd love to face him inside the ring, and I'd love to put on a great performance with him. It's just... Number 10. Okay. So I don't know if he's still the Academy Division champion yet. Tom Steele. You know, there is a bit of me inside that's wanting that Academy Gold, I have to admit. Even out of character, it's just, I want it. And I want to put on a great performance, and I want to be able to prove that I'm worthy of it. And I do hope that we get to meet in the ring one day. I really do. We spoke about it, and I think it was just a fleeting thing at one point. But I want to do well in UKW. I want to be recognised. I want people to recognise me. I want to put on amazing performances, and I think Tom Steele at number 10 is also someone that I really want to go up against. He's the champion. He's the Academy champion. He's the person that, for a new starter like me, I'm aspiring to go up to in UKW. So there we go. That's my top 10. Took me there to think of the names eventually, and I might have even got some wrong, so oh my god if I did. Top 5 inspirations in wrestling from Scott. Right, it's kind of similar to the last question. Well, the first question that I got from Connor even. I would have to say, in terms of who influenced my character, Jon Moxley, Tommaso Ciampa, Randy Orton, Broken Matt Hardy, and Abyss from TNA Impact. Just with how dark his character was, I'd say those are my 5 inspirations for wrestling, like collectively. What would you say if I sent you my right hand?
Your right hand comes off?
Say whatever you please. Die, you worm!
That's all I have to say on that. So this next one, from Ravenna. Hello, Ravenna. What advice can you give someone who has confidence issues when it comes to delivering a convincing professional performance in the ring? Right, this is a bit of a personal question for me as well, because as much as I love to perform, I do get really bad stage fright. It's not noticeable to a lot of people. I am absolutely scared when I'm inside the ring, because I just want to be able to put on the best performance that I can. But there's one thing I keep saying to myself, and that's, it's not you in the ring, it's your character. Your character's in the ring, you aren't. And it seems like a strange philosophy to work with, but it's a very Stanislavskian approach to it. So when I'm in the ring, I'm not Josh, I am Remus Kane. And I go into Remus Kane's mindset, which is more confident, more stubborn, just pure, unbridled rage inside a single individual, which is balanced by charisma and just a high intellect. I get the nerves going into a ring. I think that you would find a liar if they ever said that they would never get any sort of stage fright or ring nerves when they go into the ring for wrestling. My advice, trust in yourself. It's a hard thing to do because the one person that we probably don't trust the most is ourselves. We'll trust someone else happily over ourselves. But when you look at it, the only person who's in control of your actions in that ring is you. You are working with someone else, and it's your job to be able to make sure that they're safe, and it's their job to make sure you are safe at the same time and put on an incredible performance. And yes, you have people watching, but those people are watching because they want to see you wrestle. They want to see you in the ring and they want to see what you can do. And training is a good way of being able to alleviate some of that, because if you go into the ring knowing that you're fully prepared, you shouldn't have a problem. But then you do have problems, and sometimes mistakes happen. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have made mistakes inside the ring. I can list them off on 12 of these hands altogether, and you just have to roll with it. You cannot let setbacks affect you if you're wanting to do this. Sure, it'll affect you in the immediate outcome, but eventually you'll understand that mistakes are meant to happen. Mistakes always happen. You can't change mistakes, but what you can do is acknowledge them and move forward. Because the moment you do that, you'll find that you start worrying less and less about stuff. And whilst the nerves never truly go, that's eventually how it'll go. And as for convincing performances, look, just throw yourself into the character. You create a character that you love, like I do. I love the character that I've created. I don't think it's the greatest. I think that there are people who've created more brilliant gimmicks than myself out there, but I am really happy with what I've been able to create, along with help from loads of my friends. And if you've got a gimmick that you are so invested in, it becomes easier to be convincing because you are convinced yourself of that character. That's all I have to say about that. So next we have from Lawrence, who are your top 5 SWF wrestlers? Okay, so my top 5 SWF wrestlers. Okay, I think there are a lot of people in SWF who are quite talented. I can't fault anyone at all in particular. We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses. Crimson, no. You put Crimson into the ring, you're always guaranteed a good match. Same for Robert DeCaro, same for James Westney, same for Psychosis as well. You know, it's always guaranteed that whenever he's in the ring, a good match is always going to happen. And a rising star, I would have to say, is well, it'd have to be Joint Place, because I was in a match with them last time. Dylan Pickin and Daniel Banner. Daniel Banner has been around for a long time. He's learning. Maybe he learns slightly slower than everyone else, but what he learns, he retains, and he retains so well. And his gimmick has just been improving beyond stride after stride. It's just been improving. And Dylan Pickin, you know, he's throwing himself into it, and that's the one thing you need to do in wrestling, and I can't fault him for that, and I'm just invested in the character that he's created. What can I say? So the next question is more of a request, if anything. So Josh Wilmot, he sent a question in. Would I be willing to do feud reviews? I think what he means by that is looking at feuds in and out of SWF, and maybe giving backstory to it, but also reviewing it myself, sort of like scoring it or giving my opinions on it. I think that's something that I'd be interested in doing. It'd be something new. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that per se. I've seen people do history analysis of feuds and matches before, but nothing quite like this, I think. So, hey, this is a new channel. I'm willing to learn anything and willing to do anything. So this is from some of my family members, particularly my parents. Love you, Ali. Love you, Claire. Nah, I don't care about all that embarrassing stuff. So Ali asked me, what would you say is the best wrestling style? So, I would have the most visually pleasing style inside the ring, for me personally, is acrobatic and very athletic wrestling styles. You know, Ricochet, Will Ospreay, Leon Blade, stuff like that. I think it's absolutely wonderful to watch inside the ring. But as for in-ring work, if we're looking at kayfabe as being real for a second, the best personal style for me is technical. You know, you can use technical on absolutely anyone. You've got somebody who's flying around inside the ring. Grab the leg, technical, boom. You've disabled the leg. Got someone who's a powerhouse. You do a lock on their arm, boom. Do it long enough and you disabled their arm. Strong style, you know, heavy strikers, stuff like that. Technical has an answer for absolutely everything inside the ring, and I think it's a really, in kayfabe style, a really strong wrestling style. That's my opinion anyway. So Claire asked, why does my character wear eyeshadow? Okay. Now, who's ready for a history lesson? See, makeup like that has always been used to intimidate people inside and outside the ring, in the military, all sorts of places. But the place that I looked at the most was during the Roman Republic / Empire. I think this was middling. Yeah, because I'm referring to the Battle of Teutoburg Forest, and a particular cast of Germanic warriors, the Night Hunters, I believe they were called. So the Germans already had a very formidable reputation as being just absolute badasses on the battlefield, perfect at one-on-one combat, but also perfect at night fighting. But none of them personified that even more than the Night Hunters. Now, the Night Hunters were people who excelled at nighttime fighting, and they were the ones during the Battle of Teutoburg Forest who attacked the Romans during the night and caused horrific casualties amongst them. The Romans were definitely nothing to sniff at. You know, Testudo's information and their heavy armour and the gladius and the solid wall of shields is nothing to sniff at. But Night Hunters, my god. And what they used to do is they used to get a blackish paint of sorts, charcoal, anything they can use, and they used to wipe it across the face like so. And they'd also smear it across the body like so, in like sort of lines that look like cuts, but there was always around here that you noticed it. And if you look at them, it was almost like you were looking at a demon, you know, something that was rising out of the shadows to come and claim your soul. And that's how Romans used to view them, and that's where the inspiration for the eyeshadow came from, because it's something where Remus, he's a bugger for trying to get in people's heads, and that is one way of him doing that, just using whatever he can to instill a psychological presence in his opponent. So yeah, that's fine. And second question from Claire. Why is my character so angry? That's pretty funny, actually. Why is my character always so angry? So, I suppose if we're going to look at kayfabe for a second, he feels like Side Splitter's not taking him seriously, despite absolutely everything that he's put into SWF and everything that he's been able to do. Taking out James Westney, the title runs that he's having, the amount of wins that he's had compared to losses, and just the sheer presence that he's created in SWF. And he's always been very angry, I suppose you could argue. I think at the start, back when it was just the Vigilante, he didn't truly understand what he was meant to be yet. So anger was the only emotion that he could truly feel. But as for what he is now, I suppose it's a mixture of hatred for absolutely anyone who goes against him, his master, and the society. And he's just full of rage. I mean, he's literally a disciple of Belial, what could essentially be known as a war deity. That if that doesn't convey anger at all, then I don't know what does. Sure, he takes joy on the battlefield, but there's always anger as well. There's a lot of anger, especially coming from him. So I think that'll be all for today's Remus. No, what? This will be all for the Q&A today. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, share and subscribe, and also make sure to leave a comment for the next episode next week, and I'll be sure to answer it. And click the bell icon so you can stay updated with all future videos. This will be all for today. I hope you're doing well, all of you, and I will see you all in the next one.